and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for listening in or watching or however it is that you are participating right now. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. This week's show, 3 tools on how to become money. Now, in case you're not familiar, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has this amazing book. Read that, How to Become Money Workbook. It's amazing. And I have this class, The Magic of Being Money, that is based on that workbook. And the class is a 2-part Zoom, 4 hours each. It's a little bit longer of a class than I would maybe normally do. And it actually takes that long, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So we've got links with information about the next one coming up. I would love to have you come and play. In the meantime, let's talk about the 3 tools on how to become money. Now, what I want to talk about first, though, before we get to the tools, is the kind of explaining that, how to become money. Now, that doesn't really make sense because in this reality, we often see money as coins and like cash or credit cards or loans or stuff like that. We see money as a very, I'm gonna say, linear thing. Oh my gosh, guys, money is not that at all. No, money is that and so much more. Like, so much more. So much more. Like so much more. A few years ago, I did this. So in the workbook, there's 13 questions. They're really bizarre questions, let's be honest. And they are all about getting you to clear your points of views about money, actually allowing you to become aware of them and then clearing them. So Gary once said that if you do this workbook 100 times, you'll just be so magical with money. And so a few years ago, that's what I did. I had a class where we did the 13 questions from the workbook once a day for 100 days in a row. Oh my gosh. And it did. I cleared so many points of views about money and created so much magic with money. And the greatest gift, and I actually have a whole radio show about this. I think it was my takeaways from doing that. It's called something like that. Is that I recognized that money is so much more than what I've been calling it. And so when I would ask for money, when I would have my daily asks of money, I actually was asking for cash, but I was using the word money. Now, money can show up as a hug from friends. Money can show up as, maybe a family member's done with some clothes and they give them to you to wear. Like, money can show up in so many different ways. If you would like cash, if you want to pay your power bill or your mortgage or something like that, start asking for, and this is how I word it however you like, what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can my body and I be to actualize more wealth, more money, more cash, and then I add more luxury today as if by magic. Anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I just have to stop for a moment because this is bothering me. It went off center. I moved it earlier and I think it must have moved. So there we go. Now I feel better. Oh my gosh. My OCD. Anyway, so really recognizing that money is not anything except energy. So this is when we talk about how to become money. That's it. How to be the money you be, because it's energy. Now, I don't say money is energy from this kind of superior of like money is just energy, so it's okay to receive it. It's not that. That's what I would have told you 10 years ago when I was justifying receiving money. Money is energy. Money is no different than a fart, because a fart is energy. Money is no different than a hug, bright lights, whatever it is. Money is energy. Money is everything. So how to become money? We be it already. So the thing that I wanted to share, and this is something I talk a lot about in foundation classes and probably a lot of other money classes that I do also. Gary Douglas, again, the founder of Access Consciousness, is such an inspiration to me with regards to money, because he doesn't ever let money stop him. And I always tell this story, and I'm filling in some of the gaps. I don't know all the information, but I'm just kind of taking, what's that called? Like creativity to it, but you'll get the energy of it. So a few years ago, he said to a friend of his one day, "I'd really like to have a castle in Italy." A week later, somebody totally different phoned him up and said, "Hey, there's a castle for sale in Italy. Would you like to buy it?" And so Gary went and looked at it, and he asked the castle, "Truth Castle, would you like to own me?" The castle said yes. So Gary said, "Okay, I will buy it." Now, he didn't look in his bank account. And this is the piece that I always remind myself of. Because often when I'm making choices like that, I look in my bank account. I go and say, well, look, I can't have it. I can't buy it. All the things, all the limitations, all the lack, the scarcity. And he doesn't do that. He just looks and says, okay, he asked the castle. Yes. Okay. So I'm buying it. And then he goes to action. What can I be and do different today to own this castle right away? Or however he worded it. So he didn't let the lack of the money to purchase it stop him. And when we look at how to become money, to me, that is the number one thing, is stop what I call being money's bitch. Money would love to be your bitch. Money would love you to use it and abuse it and be grateful for it and play with it and create more with it. It doesn't want you to stop and go, oh, I don't have any. Castle in Italy would be so cool, but nope, I don't have any. No, it's about going to the choice of it. Like choosing the thing. If you get that it would create more for you, if it's something you know that just lights you up, don't look at your bank account. Now, with that said, I'm also not saying don't put it on credit. I'm not saying put it on credit. I'm not saying if it's not in the bank, just use whatever credit card you got handy. That's not what I mean at all. It really is about asking and taking action. And so in Gary's case, had the awareness that other people being involved. So there's many owners of the castle, actually. It's not just him. And then other things, all the other things. They did, they pre-sold rooms there. So we could have bought and stayed at the castle, once it was open, but pre-bought the rooms to assist with paying things. I mean, there's so many brilliant ways if you're willing to ask a question and willing to take the action and not base it on if you have the money or not. So tool number one, start asking, if money wasn't an issue here, what would I choose? So if you look at, let's say, a holiday that is a possibility, you're looking at that going, oh man, that would be so fun. I would love that. I'd love to take the family. Okay, don't go to your bank account. First question, now because it's something physical like that, I'd ask my body, hey body, would you like to go on that holiday? If I got a yes or a lightness or an expansive, however you read your awareness, if I got that, then cool, okay. And then I would actually involve my body too. So what can we co-create, body? So I'm working with my body because my body is going on the holiday. Me as the being could go there right now without my body, but my body would like to go. So the two of us get to co-create. So what can we co-create here to actualize that holiday? Now notice I didn't say what can we co-create to actualize the money for that holiday. So this is the other piece in terms of how to become money, is you get out of the limitation of it. You have to have the money to have it. I was just letting that settle in for a moment. Because what if it's not about that? Now maybe it will be. Maybe there will be where you require money and that's what you actualize and away you go. Cool. But how many different ways could a holiday show up? I remember years ago, gosh, maybe even 15 years ago. I don't even remember how many years ago, but hubby worked at like a theater where they had concerts and performances and stuff. And one of the guys who was on the board was so grateful for hubby and how hard he worked and all the things he took care of without being asked. And he was just so impressed with him that he actually gifted us flights and his car in this other place, Kelowna, BC, and his condo. So he had a condo out there. And so he gave us everything we needed to go for this trip. Talk about like what else is possible that we never even considered. So how many different ways could a holiday show up if you don't stop it at, oh, okay, well, the holiday costs $5,000, so I need $5,000. So you start focusing on asking for that. No, remember, money is everything. What can I be and do different today to actualize that holiday right away? Go to that question, and it expands it so much more than just, okay, well, what's it going to take to actualize $5,000? Now, you can do that, totally. There's nothing wrong with it. It just, the way that I see that is such a limitation of what's actually possible. So start asking when you're looking at things and you're going, oh, I can't afford that, that's too expensive, like whatever. If money wasn't an issue, what would I choose? Now, what that tool gifted me when I first started using it a number of years ago was that, you know what? A lot of the things that I said I wanted weren't actually true, because I'd say, oh man, that'd be so cool. I really would like that. Okay, if money wasn't an issue, what would I choose? And be like, not that. So don't be surprised if you kind of have it sometimes that too, where what you thought was important to you wasn't once you got out of the what we might call the entertainment of not enough money. Because this is one of the things that can occur for us, is that we can really just be entertaining ourselves with, oh, I wish I could have that, I can never have that, and kind of like all that trauma, but it can be just this silly place from we're just entertaining ourselves. So once you start being honest, if money wasn't an issue, what would I choose? Now, if you get that you would choose that thing, let's say, let's stick with the holiday example. So you get that you'd choose that. Okay, cool. Then stop making it about the money and just start asking, again, what can I be and do different today to actualize that holiday right away? And then things will just start to show up as if by magic. And they're not always linear, my friends. It doesn't always make sense in terms of what you're doing or what you're choosing. You might just get I don't know, let's say you're on Tinder and you get, a message from somebody and it just lights you up and they're saying, let's go for coffee, and that lights you up. And like, it's not related to the holiday because it's something totally unrelated, but you follow that. You follow what lights you up. You follow what creates expansive or a smile on your face. Again, each one of us has, we read our awareness different. So however it shows up for you, but just really recognizing that. And then who knows, maybe that person is going to gift you a holiday, or maybe they know of somebody who has a space that they just want somebody to come and live there while they're away. I mean, there's so many possibilities. And it might also be the money that shows up. Okay, so it really is just getting out of that you need the money first, because you don't. The only thing required is choice. Once you're willing to choose it, everything else will show up as if by magic. It's the choosing of it that creates it showing up as if by magic. Let me say it again. It's the choosing of it that creates it showing up as if by magic. You know, if you're willing to be that magical, you might just want to start strengthening your choice muscle. Now, what does that mean? Here's the thing, guys. Choice is every word, every action, every thought. So if you wake up in the morning and start asking, okay, what can I be and do different today to actualize that holiday right away? Okay, what can I be and do different today to actualize that holiday? And you get kind of excited about it and you're going through your day, and then you go for coffee with a friend and you start talking about how horrible it is because you'll never get a holiday because holidays are so expensive and it's just too hard and you won't get one. And sweet friends, that's a choice. So the choice of that conversation, the choice of speaking those words, or maybe you're just talking to yourself in your head, that's the choice creating what you're going to actualize, which is no holiday. And I know that we don't often like to admit how potent our thoughts and our words are, but those are what are actualizing everything in your life and in your living, my friends. So when I talk about choosing, I don't mean you choose for 5 minutes in the morning asking for what you would like. I mean you choose all day long. And when you notice you're not choosing what you say you would like, you just stop. You might even stop mid-sentence and you might just say, you know what, let's change the subject. And then carry on. Because it's not about judging you. It's not about making you wrong. It's not about, oh my gosh, I just created what I did. It's not. It's just stop. In that moment, you recognize you're choosing towards what you don't desire. Just stop. Make another choice. Just make another choice. Okay, so that's tool number 1. If money wasn't an issue, what would I choose here? Number 2, and you guys know this one. If you've listened to me before, you know this one. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Your point of view creates your reality. So if you have the point of view that money is hard and you never have enough money and it takes money to actualize everything in your life and you're not money and money is separate to, like all the things, all those points of views are ensuring that you don't actualize what you say you would like. So there's a few different ways you can clear points of views. Very simply, once you hear yourself or either hear yourself speak it or think it, and you're aware it's just a bizarre point of view, you can just kind of become aware of that energy. So let's say you're talking with that friend and you hear yourself say, oh, we won't get on a holiday this year. It's too expensive. We don't have enough money, whatever. You hear yourself say that. You don't even need to explain it to the friend, but you can start saying in your head, oh, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. And you don't even need to tell the friend what you're doing, but you also want to stop the conversation. You don't have to stop the conversation, but you want to turn it to a different subject. Talk about the weather or something else. Just so that you're out of that energy, you're changing the point of view, and then maybe next time that point of view won't be there. There might be something else. That's why I use this tool all day long, every day, because there's lots of different points of views that are either, we picked up as kids or we're just aware of on the planet or all the crazy. But interesting point of view, I have this point of view. The other way that I use this tool, and I talk about this on the final days in my foundation classes, I used to say day 4, but sometimes now with online foundations, I've been having 5-day ones, shorter days, which has been magical. And so on the last day, about an hour or 2 before we finish up the class, what I do is I take people through a creation process. And this is one of the steps that I suggest that they do when they look at everything they would like in their life, the ones that they're not willing to receive. They might want to do, and you might want to do this with points of views of, let's say it's the holiday, start at the top of a piece of paper or your computer or phone or something and just make notes of, I can't go on a holiday because, and then list at least 10 becauses. And the first few will just be, okay, things you've thought about 100 times. But then once you get to 4 and on, a lot of times those are the ones where it's like, whoa, I didn't even know that crazy was in there. I can't go on a holiday because my dad never took holidays or something like that. You'll have these bizarre points of views come up. Once you get your list of 10, or maybe you have more, but at least 10, then you can go through and you can clear them. You can just go and use interesting point of view, have that point of view on each of them, or you can use some other clearing thing that you do. It doesn't matter. Of course, in Access Consciousness, we also use the clearing statement. So if you use that, you could do that, however is fun for you. And what I suggest to people is go through all 10 and then put the list away for a day or so. Bring it back out, and any of your becauses that you don't laugh at, clear them again. Because if they're not funny, there's still something true for you there. So just go through and clear them again. Might take you a week to get through your entire list to like actually get them cleared. But guess what? Once they're cleared, done. They're done. They're done. How's it get any better than that? Yeah. And so interesting point of view, you can use it in the moment, you can use it like that, just to start being aware that your point of view is creating your reality. The other thing that you could do is kind of, in a sense, reverse engineer it and just say, okay, so what points of views do I have that's limiting this? Now, when we ask a question, we're not always asking for, we're never asking for an answer, but often if we ask a question like this, like what points of views do I have limiting this, we kind of think we need to figure them out and then we can clear them. But sometimes, and actually most of the time, just asking that question, all of those, so this is how I would say it personally. So, so what points of views do I have limiting me here, limiting this, however you want to word it? There'll be an energy that comes up with it. And then I would say everything that is, I destroy and uncreate them all and return them to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys and beyonds. That's how I personally would do it. And that's the clearing statement from Access Consciousness. If you're not familiar, you can go to theclearingstatement.com on how it works. It's magic. My sweet friends, it's magic. Okay, tool number 3. This baby right here. The How to Become Money Workbook. And come to my class and this workbook. Now, I'll be honest, it took me years before I really actually truly did this workbook, like truly did it. I played, I dabbled, and then I really chose it. And I believe it was 2018, 2019, I'm not sure which year it was. And Gary said that if you go through the workbook every 2 weeks for 6 months, your entire financial reality will change. And that spurred me creating that. So we did a How to Become Money Workbook intensive, which is still available. You can, of course, purchase the replays in that. And that was phenomenal. And then the 100 times in 100 days, which was also phenomenal. And then also this class, The Magic of Being Money. So there's lots of different ways to play, guys, but this book, there's so many magical tools in it that people don't even recognize. When I did this class the last time, people were blown away by how many tools they missed by going through it. And some of them were part of the 100 days, some of them were part of the intensive, some of them were part of both and done it on their own. There's so many magic tools in this book, and the questions, of course, themselves, and they're bizarre questions. In case you're not familiar, I will read you one. This is a funny one. So in relationship to money, do you feel you have more than you need or less than you need? Now, you actually respond to that 3 times. The funny thing to me is when I was doing that every day for 100 days in a row, most often my 3 responses were different. I mean, obviously I didn't have 3 different responses because there's only, 2 options, but it was very rarely the same. And it's just cool, and it just clears points of views. And it's not about logically understanding the questions, guys. It's actually to go beyond your mind, to go beyond the limitations. And it's such a phenomenal way. So if you are truly ready to start being the money that you truly be, start using these tools, get the workbook, come and join me for the class. I mean, do whatever feels fun for you and we'll create more, but just to recognize that you be money. Each one of us already bees money. And it might, like it did for me, take a little while to clear enough points of views and such to really, really, really embrace it and be it and embody it. Really that being of money is like an embodiment of being of money. It's like when people are confident. It's kind of like that energy. It's like you be it. You be it. And along with everything else, of course, it's a choice. It's a choice to be it. So anything that doesn't allow you to choose to be the money that you truly be, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys and beyonds. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, and I look forward to chatting again soon.